Salute, salute, salute. Wow, what it is, man, what it do, what's happening. It's Nocturnal. Man, first of all, let me say welcome to the channel. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. And to all my subscribers, man, I appreciate y'all. First and foremost, let me say salute goes to the boxers. Devin Haney, new champion in the 140-pound division. Devin, the dream come true Haney. And also tip my hat off to Reges, the Rougarou, the monster from New Orleans, for putting on a show, for, building up a fight and performing, risking their life, old school, throwback gladiator style for entertainment of boxing fans. Devin Haney came out without a scratch, came out victorious, moving and grooving. He shook off his haters and his doubters. He completely put on a masterclass performance against a tough, tested fighter. You know what I'm saying? This fight to me was a key. For me to see the metal, the true metal of Devin Haney, because he's part of that new school crop of kids that was coming along, that was calling themselves, or that was being called the next four kings. Sugar Ray Leonard, Hearns, Duran, and Hagler. You had King Ryan Garcia, Kid Flash, Shakur Stevenson, Gervonta Tank Davis, Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? You had Teofimo Lopez. And in that mix, you also had Lomachinkos. You know what I'm saying? In 140, you had Josh Taylors and Reges Progress. Monsters. You know what I mean? Monsters. And it was all gladiators, in my opinion. All those names I just mentioned, man, these are great fighters. And we waiting for them all to clash and lock horns, right? Devin Haney, to me, I had him third, I believe, back in years ago. I had Teofimo and Gervonta Tank Davis, or you can swap that around, Gervonta Tank Davis and Teofimo. And then I had the Devin Haney with a close Sugar Shakur Stevenson, and it just was a matter of time of who would fight and who would come out victorious. Lomachenko was in there, etc. and so forth. Teo got knocked off. After he fought Loma, I definitely had Teo up top. Then he got knocked off, but he made a good resurge and came back strong in his last fight against Josh Taylor at 140. You know what I'm saying? Ryan Garcia, he got beat by Gervonta Tank Davis, but he's coming back and just had a good fight against Duarte. Sugar Shakur Stevenson, man, he was just looking like he was undefeatable, and just his last performance kind of wasn't a great performance against De Los Santos. You know what I'm saying? But Reges Progress. Well, yeah, Reges Progress, the Rougarou, had, went back on the mission. He lost his belt. He lost his championship. He went on the mission, went on the, where he was underneath the radar, but he was putting in work, and he was fighting and winning, and regained his championship to become a two-time champion. Sitting at 140, to me, especially after Teofimo knocked off Josh Taylor, I say, right now, Reges Progress is the most dangerous fighter at 140. You know what I'm saying? Seasoned, he experienced, he a brawler, he got power, he got limitations on his boxing skills. He don't have the best jab and the best footwork, but he makes it up. Whatever he lacks in the will, he makes up in the skill. Devin Haney making his introduction into 140, fighting against Reges Progress, is nothing but to be saluted properly. Because that was exceeding expectations. Him going back and cleaning up that work against Lomachenko, that made perfectly good sense. And the performance that he had against Lomachenko still left a few doubts in my mind as far as how Devin Haney would look moving forward, against the likes of a Gervonta Tank Davis. Fight against a southpaw, like Gervonta Tank Davis with power. To me, Lomachenko with the footwork, Gervonta Tank Davis with the power, Lomachenko with the footwork, and Reges Progress with the power. You take that and you mix it together, you get a little bit of a Gervonta Tank Davis. You know what I'm saying? Because Gervonta Tank Davis is a all-around fighter. He's not limited with just power, or he's not just limited with fancy footwork. But my thing is, when I look at Devin Haney, I'm looking at your resume to see who you are fighting to prepare you against your future opponents. When you mixing up your styles and fighting people that got different strengths and weaknesses and different abilities and capabilities. The bottom line is this: Devin Haney, he was only really criticized for a little bit of a lack of power. And we could see at 135, he was really beating down the scales to make the weight. And that was affecting his power. Like he said, he had a new power. People was waiting for him to grow into his grown man strength. I remember after he fought Reges, and he was back in the dressing room asking Reges, how is my power? So we was all waiting for this grown man strength. But at the end of the day, we was also waiting for him to move up in weight, because he's obviously a big dude, and 135 is not a good weight class for him to be able to show all of his skills and his natural abilities. So he goes up to 140, and right on the scales in the weigh-in was like the build up for the fight was great. The weigh-in was great, but you see on the scales that Devin Haney looked a lot better on the scales, period, point blank. And that kind of was to let you know what was going to happen in the fight. Once he rehydrated, especially how he was going to look, and how his size was going to play out, how his power was going to play out. He hurt Reges Progress multiple times. And that's one of those things where you got a guy like Reges, who's a brawler, who likes to get in there and scuffle up and battle and bruise, and he's telling you, you a private school kid that don't have no power, you can't hurt nobody, you pillow fisted. As soon as you get in there and you start getting rocked by unexpected amount of power, that's going to change the game. You're already outskilled. You know what I'm saying? You already got disadvantages with the reach, with the lack of experience being that you started late. Also, your age, a little bit more battle torn, and etc. So the biggest advantage that you would have would be your power. And psychologically, when you saying that Devin don't have no power, he can't hurt me at all, and you start getting rocked, it looked very similar to like when he even got rocked by Zerillo. Like Reges Progress legs buckled underneath him, and he just got caught with a clean shot. You know what I'm saying? That dropped him, and he got a little bit battered and bruised and scraped. But for the most part, he just got outclassed and outboxed. It was a great performance. There was no running. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't boring. It was entertaining. It was tactical. It was slick. You could really break down the action of that fight and watch it over a couple of times. I'm gonna have to watch it over a couple of times to see blow for blow, round for round, how he broke him down, how he outslicked him. From round one, he just was faster, speed, sharp, laser focused. He stayed laser focused. He didn't have any lapse of moments where he lolled off. Sometimes I felt like Devin Haney would get real comfortable in there, and he would start to get too relaxed, and then he'd be getting caught with a big shot that he didn't need to take. He's really tightened that up. I think, like he said, he's more focused at 140 because he's not as mentally fatigued. You know what I'm saying? Wearing down his body. When you take that much water out your body, you take water off your brain, and you fatigue out mentally. And you could just see he was just all around sharp and deadly and destructional. And that really, really shows a lot of what kind of fighter I would say, if, this is only if, because we don't know if this is going to happen, but if he ever gets the opportunity to fight Gervonta Tank Davis at 140, I say this, it'd be a problem for Gervonta Tank Davis. It'd be a problem for Gervonta Tank Davis. And that I couldn't say before. I had an idea, but now watching this performance, and not just really just off of Reges, but more just off of how focused Devin Haney was, how sharp he was, and with that power addition where he actually can, hurt you, stumble you, and knock you down. Always had enough power to keep you honest. And when you look at some of the fights of Tank in the past against guys like Mario Barrios, who are on the level of Devin Haney, but had the size and some that had that little bit of power, that's gonna be a close, very entertaining, interesting idea to build up Tank versus Devin Haney. I'm still say kind of 50-50 to be honest, but you're only as good as your last performance, and I haven't seen Tank performance since he fought Ryan Garcia, and that's just not I don't know. Ryan Garcia is no Devin Haney, and Devin Haney just to me proved himself even that much more. Iron sharpen iron. He's just came out even more sharp and more impressive, and not just in the ring, not just the fight, but the whole build up, keeping his composure, staying focused, not backing down, showing how much dog and grit he has. All that private school talk didn't get him off his game at all. His support system was strong. His father is impressive in the way he handled this whole build up. It was locked in. They was locked in. They was focused, and they proved everybody who was doubting them wrong. Shake off some haters, gain some fans. Made me more of a believer. Made me look at him with more confidence moving into the future. Any doubts I had about Devin Haney are dismissed at this point because he didn't even get touched by Reges Progress. And I even thought that if Reges clipped him with a good shot, we could probably see Devin Haney on the canvas at least once and then get up and finish the job. In my opinion, like I said, logically, with all the, the advantages and just the overall skill set of Devin Haney, he would outbox Reges Progress. Not to say Reges Progress had a puncher's chance. I felt like that was too disrespectful to say a champion just only had a puncher's chance. But when they fight, and when the fight went down, Reges didn't have a puncher's chance. He was outclassed, and he just was levels below Devin Haney. But he had a lot of heart. He went in there and fought, swinging for the fences to the final bell. But you could tell when it was all so over and said and done, he not that I don't think he ever really had no respect for the Haneys. I think that was build up. All that fuck the Devin Haney, fuck Bill Haney, fuck the Haneys, that's all build up. They pussy, they bitches and all that. I think that was a majority build up. But at the end of the day, when you get in there and you lose like that, you got to eat the humble pie, show the respect, and change your tone up on a whole different level, and just say that Devin Haney was a better fighter, better man that night, beat you, outclassed you, make no excuses, just get a man his credit, get a man his props, and salute him, and go back home safe to your family. It used to still to me, Reges Progress, I feel like I don't lose no level of respect for. I don't think he embarrassed himself. I think he did a good job at trying to build up the fight. And he was just outclassed by a better boxer. You know what I'm saying? So he has no reason to hang his head down low, and any of his fans have no reason to hang their head. Reges Progress was a great fighter, great warrior. He might, if he decides to go get one more showcase fight in his hometown just to go out in style. He getting up there long in the tooth. And but he do got other 140 pounds that he can fight too. It's just still names out there that he can fight, that if he goes in there and puts on a better performance, you never know what can happen in the future. But Devin Haney definitely right now is looking like the future of the sport of boxing, and everybody gonna be talking about Devin Haney versus Gervonta Tank Davis, period, point blank. Period, point blank. He got more leverage now. He's been undisputed. He got a belt at 140, a real belt at 140. Gervonta Tank has been at 140 to fight Mario Barrios. I don't want to hear all the A side, B side politics of boxing. It's far-fetched for me to believe that this fight will come into fruition. But that's the reason why we watch boxing. We want to see the impossible happen. And in my mind, the impossible happening would be Devin versus Gervonta Tank Davis. And that would settle the whole, Four Kings era, who's the best of that generation type of conversation. That's my thoughts, y'all. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. It's Nocturnal Thoughts, man. Salute to the fighters, but special salute. My hat goes off. All the respect in the world. Big, proper salute to Devin, the dream come true, Haney. He really opened my eyes on a higher level of what this kid is really all about. He mean business. That dude is dangerous. He's a threat. He's an all-around boxing virtuoso. He's educated with his footwork, his ring IQ, his power is starting to come in. You know what I'm saying? He looked like he could dominate 140 with no problem whatsoever and possibly become undisputed, even though he said that's not what his goal is. He said he might even move up to 147 and fight a guy like Keith Thurman. We'll see what happens for him in the future. But I want to see him. I still want to see Devin in there against Shakur Stevenson. I still want to see Devin in there with really Gervonta Tank Davis. You know what I'm saying? But from this point on, going into the fight with anybody, I won't have any doubt of what Devin Haney brings to the square circle from this point on. He's all around becoming a more complete fighter with hardly any handicaps or weaknesses or kinks or chinks in the armor. He's coming in there looking like a samurai, looking like a warrior, looking like, you know what I'm saying, an undefeatable fighter, mentally and physically. That's what he's looking like at this current point in time. Let me know if y'all agree. Salute, salute, salute. Blessings.